this video I want to share a tip with you for refining your logos and for knowing for sure if your logos look as perfect as you think they look. So when you're designing in a design program like Adobe Illustrator or even in Canva, you're often designing on a white background. And what I have learned over the years as a brand designer is that this is a tip, if you put that logo onto a dark background, so if that logo has lighter colours in it and you're able to do that and still see it, you will be able to get a much better idea if the proportions of the logo are right and if the layout is right and if the text is bold enough for people to see. So often when we create logos, we don't really think about how they're going to work on different backgrounds. So sometimes you're going to want to put that logo, and obviously people have different variations of their logos, but before you start creating the white logos, the different coloured logos and the black logos and everything else, you want to make sure that that logo looks right. And I find the very best way to do that is if you put that logo on a dark background, you're going to get a really good idea of how it actually looks. So what I would suggest is, especially if you're creating like a crest logo like this that I created for my branding membership, if you're creating something like that, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make it either all white or make it so that it's a brighter, you can edit it in photo editing software or something like that. But if it's a darker coloured logo, you're going to want to make it brighter and then place it on a dark background, and then you'll really get to see if you've got the proportions right and if it looks as good as you think it looks. And as an example, I'm just going to show you, I recently created this crest logo, like I say, for my branding membership, and I thought it looked perfect in Adobe Illustrator. I was designing it on a white background and I completely forgot about this tip that I have known about for a really long time. And then when I went to create I made a video of the whole process of me making it, and now I'm editing the videos for YouTube, and I made this cover for the YouTube video and I put the crest on the cover. And if I show you, if I just quickly duplicate this page, I'm just going to so you can see what I mean. Duplicate this, and then I'm going to remove all this stuff here. Okay, so this is the after logo, after I realised the original logo I designed I wasn't actually happy with it at all once I saw it on a dark background. So if I show you, this was the original design. Now if I make this bigger so you can see, I thought this logo looked really elegant and was spot on when it was in Adobe Illustrator, because like I say, when you're designing in Illustrator or Canva or something like that, you've normally got a white background. So if I change this to white, okay, instantly, just ignoring this one for now, if I move this one out the way a little bit, instantly this looks more elegant because it's on a white background, and for some reason it just looks nicer. But when you change it to a dark background like we just had before, it looks squashed, and it didn't look like that before. So this is why I say, don't finalize any logos or anything like that until you've placed it on a dark background, like a really dark, like this is really dark blue or a black or something like that. Because instantly I realised this ship isn't big enough. There's not enough spacing at the top and the bottom, and it's too sort of squashed down. And then so obviously I then went in and edited it and everything else, and I completely changed the shape of it because, like I say, before I'd put it onto a dark background, I thought it looked really elegant and perfect, and it really didn't. So this is just a tip for you before you start creating all your variations, and especially with a crest logo or something like that, or an emblem or something you've created with lots of different parts that needs balance and it needs the right proportions. Don't finalize it, and don't send it to someone. If you're a brand designer or something like that, don't send it to someone until you've done this, because then you'll really get to see, because it really shows up the spacing between elements and the dimension and the proportions and the layout really well. So that's just my tip for you. And as you can see, this one looks so much better than this one did. And to be fair, it didn't take a lot of time to tweak it. It wasn't days of having to change everything. I didn't have to change any of the elements. I did make the boat a little bit bigger, and I did add an extra one of these up here, one of these sort of floral arrangements. I added another one up here, but I didn't have to do any extra sort of creating elements or designs or anything like that. It was just a case of rearranging it a little bit. So that's my tip for you. Try that out next time you do a branding, either for yourself or for a customer. Try it on a dark background. You can do that straight in Adobe Illustrator. Like I say, it's something I used to do before, but I just kind of forgot to do it this time because I was in a rush to get it done. So that's just a little tip for you, and I hope it helps. And I'm going to delete this now because it looks terrible. And yeah, I hope it helps, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, bye.